result is something that so critical or not critical comes from if you're very interested in it. I'm not, to be frank. I want to spend those 40 days of my life which will never come back. I want to spend it well.
I have a hard time watching myself, listening to my voice. I'm just like, but this one fascinates me because I've never seen myself like this. So sometimes it feels like, oh, I really did this.
As filmmakers, as artists, as actors, as writers, there has always been a certain responsibility in terms of telling whatever the truth is as honestly as possible.
Bombay then, Mumbai now, and Bambai forever. I feel that's such an emotion. And joining me today here on ETimes is the entire cast and crew, partially, if I may say, of Bambai Meri Jaan. Welcome, everybody. I want to actually start off by asking you, sir. I feel what happens is when you're putting a fictional story out there, and correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes the lines are often blurred between fact and fictional. How did you sort of astray and manage to put your story with the facts that you had while you were investigating this? And then, of course, you had the team put together the story out there.
See, in 25 years, 26 years of journalism, crime reporting, investigative journalism, you come across a lot of stories. And then you don't see all those stories in isolation. The beautiful part about storytelling is that when you blend all those things, when you try to merge the fiction with facts and reality with imagination, what you see is a much beautiful and interesting product. In this, I thought that we should try to come up with a story which is intriguing, which has all the conflicts of a human life, emotions. Imagine a father whose uprightness, whose integrity is so, beyond a question, has a son who has no moral compass, who has no conscience, who's nothing. Imagine these two contrasting people coming together, and then you tell a story of, principles, hunger, fight, and success through them. What would happen? So I just thought, okay, maybe we can just try to tell this story, and then we can, try to populate this with other characters who will narrate Mumbai, the ambitions of Mumbai, the desires and dreams of Mumbai. And that's how I thought I approached them and gave the story idea, and they liked it very much.
Do you feel that with OTT coming in, it's slightly easier to, talk about topics or discuss or depict stories which probably censor board might just put it across when it's a theatrical release?
For me, censorship is something that is a derivative of societal values more than anything else. And as filmmakers, as artists, as actors, as writers, there has always been a certain responsibility on us, whether no matter what the format of filmmaking is, whether it's a documentary or whether it's a feature film or it's a web show, in terms of telling whatever the truth is as honestly as possible, right? So there isn't any attempt to, so to speak, to sensationalize, a given subject. So I don't think, censorship is something. I mean, of course, everyone's intent is different. I can't comment for everyone else. But here, what we have tried to, essentially do is tell a story which we all kind of believed in, right? I mean, all the collaborators, everyone who came in together, and it was a fascinating world to create. And when Zaidi Saab came with the story with his vast experience of more than 3 decades in reporting, of course, the lines do get blurred because he's also published a lot of books, and it is natural to draw comparisons to. But I feel that he's got so much more to tell. I mean, those books have been written and they're like, history. Yeah. But he's got so much more to tell. His new book is just released. He's writing a sequel to Black Friday now, which, I mean, as avid readers, we all are going to be looking forward to. Yeah, so I mean, this, this great content, and whatever I feel has been told honestly should really not worry society in terms of a censorship point of view.
KK, coming to you, I feel you've been a part of the industry for long enough now for me to ask you this, or probably fairly to say that if you're a part of a project, it's going to nail it at some point. And definitely crack it and bring in people to watch because of your craft. Of course, the story is going to great too. Today, after so many years of work, what is it that gets KK Menon to say yes to a project or a script?
The same things that used to excite me earlier.
Those would be?
as I said again, I always keep saying this, that it's a very subjective thing. You can't objectively look at something. Art is not objective. A painting is looked at by different people in different ways. So does an actor look at a script in a different way. So the essential part is that you need to get attracted to it and forget about the reasons of the attraction. So that's my process. So I've been doing that ever since I've begun professionally. Whatever I feel is suddenly kind of attractive to me, I go ahead and do it. Of course, it has to have a certain span in terms of, I need to carry something on my shoulders in that, etc., etc. But apart from that, it's more to do with an unsaid equation that I have with what I read. It's like you read a book and you sometimes don't like that book. And so you read a book, and you might just fall in love with the book. And you assign no reasons to it. Not because, oh, the grammar was good, or the commas were good, or the full stops were good, the exclamations, the words were... No. You just fall in love with the entire essence and the entire aura of that story. And that's what I've been doing right from the beginning. I might fall flat, I might not succeed, it's a different issue. But that's my destiny.
Is there anything in particular, if you look back at your body of work, that you're supremely grateful or proud of?
Proud? No, I have yet to reach that stage of being proud, but I am grateful to, for whatever the journey is. And the answer would be, the journey, no complaints, is the journey. So I have, it's been great. I really, ups and downs can happen, but you learn from things.
What for you was that game changer project or work that you worked upon that personally is still very close to you?
Oh, all of it. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to... I don't have answers to questions like the best, the most favorite and all.
You don't compartmentalize.
No, because again, as I said, I don't think I'm so narrow-minded to have just one or two. So it's the whole spectrum of stuff that one does. And for me, my own work, as Shakespeare would put it, the eye sees not itself, but by reflection. So I really can't say. It's up to the people who watch it to decide what is their favorite, etc., etc. I can't really push them in that direction, because each one of them, successful or not, have been a very sincere attempt.
Actors generally tend to get a little bit overcritical of their work. Three of you all are sitting here. I'm going to ask one by one to everybody. Kritika, starting from you. Are you somebody who's extremely overcritical about her work? And did you, like with Bambai Meri Jaan, look back? Because it's definitely a project for you which is very different from the roles that you've done before.
Yes.
So how was that journey for you? And were you like overtly critical about stuff?
I think they all had me for that.
That's true. That's true. Sir has very high standards. He's so hard to please that you better be okay with his okay. So that is true actually. But I'm typical like that. Yeah, I have a hard time watching myself, listening to my voice. I'm just like, but this one fascinates me because I've never seen myself like this, you know. So sometimes it feels like, oh, I really did this. Hey, this is cool. That's the only, that's why I'm intrigued, but usually I'm a mess. I can't watch any of my work.
Before I move to Nivedita, talk to me a little bit about your role as well in the show.
So I play Ismail and Sakina's daughter, Habiba Kadri, Dara's sister. I am the youngest of the Kadri siblings. You can see, I think from the glimpses that you see in the trailer, you know that she's a firebrand. She's not, she's a woman with agency. She has big dreams and she will get to those dreams anyhow. Fiercely loyal to her family, especially to her brother. And yeah, you have to watch the show to see where it all leads. But we are stuck in this tussle of egos and ideals of the father and son.
Nivedita, as I was telling you, even before we started rolling, we'd love to see more of you. So totally looking forward to Bambai Meri Jaan. Huge fan. Tell me, are you also somebody who's extremely critical about her stuff, or by now you've reached a point where you're like, I'm chill?
No. There's never a moment, I think, where you are like, oh, I'm chill. Kabhi nahi hota aisa. So, yes, of course, I too am extremely critical. Every time I see any of my work, I feel, oh, I could have done this better or something or the other, which I think is excellent, because the day I feel that, oh, it's chill, I've arrived, I think it's curtains down. So it's a part of my journey, and you're learning. You have to grow on what your craft is and everything. Take it from there ahead. So yes, I am critical, and I'm okay being critical about my work.
I'm going to come back. Overcritical or chill?
I'm not a person who concentrates on the fruits of labor. I don't think that really excites me. For me, when I spend 30, 40 days on a set shooting for something, those 30, 40 days of my life are not going to come back. So for me, that is more important. So for me, there what I do and there how involved one is and what has been the pleasure that I derived out of living those 40 days there holds more importance than what is the final product, to be very frank. So for me, as I said, result is something that I'm so critical or not critical comes from if you're very interested in it. I'm not, to be frank. I want to spend those 40 days of my life, which will never come back. I want to spend it well in something that I love doing, that is acting. So, the like for example here, I mean we have shots for so many days in spurts because of all the stoppages in between. But it was a pleasure because the entire focus was to get the screenplay, pat on and things like that. It's not that I have fun. People say idea of fun. My idea of fun is not हम लोग ने कैरम भी खेल लिया, हमने क्रिकेट भी खेल लिया, while shooting. ये मेरा फन का टेक्निक वो नहीं है, मतलब वो तो हम बाहर भी कर सकते हैं ना, can play cricket outside also, outside the shoot also, after finishing shoot. So for me the fun lies within that. How did we kind of arrive at this, and how did we crack this scene, and what magic happened? That's the fun for me. As for me, so hence critical, not critical, no. There might be days in which I feel, अरे यार ये कुछ आज कुछ मजा नहीं आया. That could be possible. But final result देख करके नहीं. That is, what is is there any opposite word for narcissism? I'm that. I can't look at myself and say, oh man.
Lastly, before I wrap this up, Hussain sir, I have to ask you this. It's the journalist inside me that's probing to know this. What kind of prep and research goes behind when you're putting together something like Bambai Meri Jaan or a script or anything that you're writing, whether it's your books or like a show or a film?
Oh, it's massive. I know it's like, I'll give you an example, like cooking a meal. For that, every small ingredient matters. Kitna namak, kitna masala, kya hoga. And the more meticulous you are, you're going to have that much good delicacy. In Kahani, when you do research, so sometimes then you lose track of time, you lose track of yourself, then sometimes wife is unhappy, sometimes kids are absolutely, dissatisfied. But then you're gone for days and you're doing research. This Kahani mein aise hi hua ke you have to be very particular about what you're doing. Every small thing that it matters. The way police were behaving 60s, 70s, I was not even born in those era. So I have to go and find out that police operate kaise karti thi, wahan ki politics kya thi. So it's all that you get it out of research and out of legwork and dedication that you get out of working on such stories.
Great. Thank you so much, team. It was lovely chatting with all of you all, and I'm totally looking forward to Bambai Meri Jaan. As I said, it's an emotion, and we wait to the emotion being out there for screen to everyone to watch. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.